so far so good out there, my friend.
Yeah, baby.
And you kind of called it, actually. We were talking about who was scratched out there. Felak wasn't there last time, but he is there today.
Yes.
And, of course,
Thank goodness.
Well, he came in and certainly got the goal there to get things started there. This is still close,
and what
though.
a good goal.
Hey, you know what? They stayed right on top of it. It came right to the line of the goal.
Persistence pays off,
well,
man,
it really
I'm
did
telling
there.
you.
Yeah, and it was a nice goal.
It was.
It was totally clean. So 1-0 right now. Now the shot clock's pretty similar to each other there right now. 12 for us.
It was a
11
bit
for them.
lopsided at one point, but
It was.
yeah, we're there now.
Well, and I think
We're in the
Flint
zone.
Firebirds showed, as I said pre-game, that these guys come out to play. They're ready and aggressive out from the gate typically, and they were, as they had the first 2-3 shots on goal.
For sure they did.
And they were right in our face. Now, and another one that's out there, Wainwright, that you talk about.
Easton, yeah.
He's really been where he needs to be, I think, for most of this period.
You know what? I mean, he's one of those guys where I think if you were to put him into junior B, he would be one of the top in the league kind of thing. You know what I mean? But he comes out here and you know what? He is. He's putting in the the time and the effort, and I like what we're seeing from him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a young guy, and he's he's only got lots of room to grow, and I think that's going to be
Let's talk about
exciting.
what makes for a great hockey player, right? I mean, speed and agility, but stamina is really a big part of this as well. I mean, if you could have all of the above, that would be perfect. But stamina, even at this level, is something that is really quite key to winning games, especially when you've got some key players out there.
I agree. I mean, if you look at it, the one thing we always seem to keep mentioning is you got to play 60 minutes of hockey.
Right.
And if you're not able to play an actual 60 minutes of hockey, then you're going
to have your struggles.
Yeah, 100%. And it's all about endurance and fitness and things like that. And I had a guy who lived with me for a while, and he was strength and conditioning coach at one time for the Sting. And that was the thing. He said, he just knew who was going to be the producers out there because he saw the guys coming into the gym every day. He knew
who was there first, who stayed last, kind of thing. Yeah,
he knew who was putting in the effort to keep that endurance up there and to really work on those skills and that kind of thing. And so it was always fun to listen to what he had to say about what was going down backstage while
weren't a lot of penalties in this first period until just past the second half of the first period, I guess,
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Well, you know what? I mean, it's certainly a fair thing at the moment. I'll give you that. You know what I mean? Because it really does seem like the referees are trying to let these guys play some hockey.
Yeah.
The calls that I've seen, though, I'm not sure what they're calling.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, just at the end of that last period, there was this sequence of events that happened sort of in behind the goal, and, guys getting hauled down and holding the jerseys and tugging on the sticks and all this other shenanigans.
Mumbo jumbo.
And until it gets over into the far corner, and then they called it for a holding when there is no way that was a holding. But you know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things, was there a penalty due? Yes. Was it holding? I don't think so. But whatever, it happened. Away we go.
Well, the reason I asked the question was, partly because of that. I figured you'd have something to say about that. But there was a hit earlier. Now I forget. It's just slipped my mind who was on one of our guys right over the south end here. And it was a big kabang. And
there's been a few of those.
It was like we were kind of waiting for it, but then I didn't really see anything. But then our guy kind of went over and got that guy back with well, we won't say because it could probably be holding contempt or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But he got away with it. And you sort of got to wonder, like, I saw the referee looking in that general direction. Do they see it, or did he just kind of go, oh, Fair is fair. Like you
You
say
know
a
what?
lot.
I wouldn't even begin to get into the mind of a referee. I can tell you what I see.
Here, I'm giving you the opportunity.
No, not going to play it.
Here you go.
There is one thing I do want to talk about,
Yeah.
though, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Marco Sickick. So,
Yeah.
you know what? This is another player that I really kind of like, that I've been kind of paying attention to. He's been playing on the wing for a while. With our defensive issues going on, they've moved him back into a defenseman position, and what a superstar. Like, this guy's doing the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, and it proves, who these guys are that can kind of, you hear about hockey players that can play both ends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Marco is one of those guys. I think you're just going to see him get better and better. And he's clearly a both end player guy. And you take him and you put him in on defense, and he's already elevated the defense.
Right.
We've seen it. We saw it in this game.
Yeah.
Already the difference that he's making.
And does that
in terms of
does
those
that
defense
confuse
guys.
the other team sometimes? It's like that ambidextrous baseball. Is he going to be left or right
sure.
this time?
Sure.
Does that mix things up for him?
You know what? I don't know if the other team pays enough attention. I mean, they're going to see defensemen, right? I mean, but when you consider that we got Mast out and Chandler or Romeo's out, and
some key players.
There's some big defense guys that are out, and frankly, Marco, he's doing the job, and God bless him for doing that.
Nolan Dillingham is another
keeping
one.
us in the game.
Yeah, for sure. Nolan Dillingham, another one we were kind of. Well, I know you were hoping, I was too, but he's got to be, like, I want to say next week.
It would be nice. I can't wait to see Dill come back in the lineup. Absolutely. I think he's been a key component.
What's he going to bring back that we've been missing? Or is there something that he's bringing that we've been missing?
You know what? I mean, there's a reason why they put the C on his jersey, and I think, that speaks volumes to his ability to lead on and off the ice. And they don't generally tend to just, the C is not something you get just because you've been around for a while. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of constant turnover and stuff like that. You got to be able to step up and be a leader, and in terms of keeping everybody's spirits up and keeping their head in the game and that kind of thing.
Now that being,
sorry,
go ahead.
I think that's something we definitely missing.
Well, and that was kind of segueing into my next question is, he's still being a leader, likely. Well, I know he is behind the scenes when he can. And he has been out on the ice practicing, and been making shots. So we know the wrist is getting better and everything.
Yep.
So who is the C on the ice right now when Dillingham's not out there? Who do you see that being?
Well, and we've had that question.
It keeps changing, though.
Yeah, I get it. You know what? I don't know that there necessarily is.
Yeah.
I think, one of the challenges when you face a team like Guelph and do kind of poorly, that sort of says to me that they're, you've got a bunch of guys in it for themselves, and if they make a game out of it, great. If they don't, okay, but I don't know. It's really hard to say because, that's one of the things you'd almost have to be in the locker room to really kind of figure that one out.
Oh,
but
I thought you'd have all the answers.
In terms of on the ice, I think, we can probably say a lot of guys look to people like Ty Voigt and Alexi Davio and some of these, sort of well-rounded, skillful hockey players.
Yeah. Where's Ty Voigt in this game today so far? It seems to be, I feel like he's been, again, a few times, most of the time where he needed to be, but it's still not quite being sent to him, or
well, you know what? I don't know. Like, I think, for me, I think what Ty does so well on the ice is he keeps that momentum and that pace up.
Yes. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I think he is because he's so quick, and two,
the other
he's
players
so
know
skillful.
they got to keep moving when he's on the ice.
Absolutely, and he's so skillful with the puck that I think he's one of those guys that will typically tend to drive the pace of the game. So if he's down, the game just slows right down. If he's on his game and he's coming in, you see him coming.
He's a pace setter.
He's absolutely, and I think that is we've talked about pace of the hockey game in the past, and I think that's one of those things. The Stings seem to play really quite well when the pace is up there.
Yeah.
And as soon as that game slows down and we get back on our haunches a bit or start playing too defensively, that's when things go south.
Are you happy with the pace that's been out there so far? Do they need to pick it up a little more?
Well, I don't know. I think if we can maintain the pace that we're at right now, I think we've got a distinct advantage for sure.
Except that I feel like, there was a lot. It was back and forth. Although we're up 1-0 right now, no room. Like there's no insurance going on out there just yet.
No.
And I think that Flint is still capable of stepping their pace up a little bit more.
I agree.
And I think that could be part of their game plan. Okay, let's come out. Let's keep up with the Sting. Let's let them set the pace in the first period maybe, and then we're going to come out in the second period, and we're really going to turn it on. And I think that's what Flint obviously has to do if they're going to get ahead in the second period.
Well, you know what? I think, Dave, there really isn't any runaways about to happen, because I think these teams have met each other often enough. I think they know each other to a point where you're not going to be pulling a rabbit out of a hat on either team. So I think it could go either way.
Right.
And I just, I got to say, with the number of guys that we got out right now, just to see us in this game in a leading position, I'm pretty happy with the way the game's gone so far.
All right, Jay
And
Peckham's happy.
Let's keep it going.
Jay Peckham's happy. That says a lot, let me
Yeah,
tell you.
he sure does.
All right, well, they're back out on the ice about a minute and a half away from the second period puck drop. And a reminder, don't forget about post-game press conference coming up.
Yeah.
And we'll be back one more time here live from the concourse with the Sarnia Sting live from the concourse. I'm David Burrows, and this is Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!